All right, so here are some scale exercises that you can do. First, what I would do is, of course, our chromaticism. And then, run that up and down the fretboard. And then, run that all the way from 3rd fret up to the 12th fret. And then mess around with that with different fingerings, right? So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. So when I say that, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger, 3rd finger. Now you would go backwards. 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1. And then you can go 1, 4, 2, 3. Now you go 4, 1, 3, 2. And then so on and so forth. So then you can go 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2. There I just did 2, 3, 1, 4. And then another way, you can take your scales, of course, play your A minor pentatonic scales with 1 finger, and the notes that we're going to play are A, C, D, E, G, and then back to A. So we got our A, 5th fret, low E, then our C, 8th fret, D, 10th fret, E, 12th fret, 15th fret, G, and then A. And then you want to do that for each string. So now we got our A, open A, C, D, E, G, A. Now we got our D string, D, so we want to find our A. Here's our A, skip the A string, and now it would be the 7th fret here. So you go 7, 10, 12, and then I like to pop up to this E here, 2nd fret D string, G, and then A. So now we got our open G string, so we want to find that A from our A major chord. A, C is at the 5th fret, D, 7th, E, 9th, 12 is G, 14 is back to that. And then now we have our B here, so now we need to find our A. So here's our B, now to go back, B flat, A. So I like to do this, A, C, so 10, 12, 13. Then I like to grab this D up here, 3rd fret, from our D major chord, E, 5th fret, then G, back to A. So then now, high E, same thing that we did with the low E. 5, 8, 10, 12, 15, and then 17. And then now a way that you can do it is actually run your scale shapes. So 5th fret, low E, then 3rd fret, 5th fret, 2 5, 2 5, then 3 5, 3 5. But we always want to end on the A note. Otherwise than that, it's going to sound not so tonally correct over this A minor chord. Now we're going to the next position, the rock and roll position. 5 8, 5 7, 5 7, 5 7, 5 8, 5 8. Okay, now we need to find our next root, which is at our 4th string here, and we go to the next position. So now we'd go 7, 10, 7, 9, 8, 10, and then 8, 10. Shift back, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10, 7, 10, 8, and back up to 8, 10, 7, 10, and back to 7. Now our next position, we got our A. So now we're going to go 12, 10, 12, shift back, 9, 12, then 10, 13, and then 12, or 10, 12. And then now we're going to go 12, 10, now back up to A, 12, 10, 12. Now here, our last position is 12, 15 on the A string, 12, 14, 12, 14, shift up to 13, 15, and then 12, 15. And the goal is you always want to get back to your home, which is A. Okay, so now what you can do is you can take this and run your shapes all horizontal or vertically, whatever direction this is, and connect all the shapes together. So we start on our A. Now we go C, D, E, G, A. So now we got our A here. A, C, D, E, G, A. Now we go A, C, D, E, G, A. And then now we can run this shape right here at the 17th fret, because everything past 12 repeats. 17, 15, 17, 14, 17, 14, 17, 15, 17. And then, now what we can do is we can do everything in sets of 3. So, so we're gonna just play up to the root. And this one you would have to do on the next string set, so. And then here you can just go up to this A. And then here, and then you can do that. So then another thing that we can do is, we'll just take the rock and roll position, right? Is we do these things called sequences. So we'll play, let's say we'll start with three notes, right? So we'll first play the first 3 notes of the scale. So it'd be 5, 8, 7. So I started on the A, and then now I'm going to go back up, and now I'm going to start on the C. So it'd be C, D, E, And then now I'm going to go to the next note. Here is D, so then I'd go D, E, G. Now I'm going to go up to this E, and I'm going to play E, G, A. Now I'm going to go up to this G, G, A, C. Now I'm going to go up to this A, C, D. Now I'm going to go C, D, E. Now I'm going to go D, E, G. And then E, G, A. Now G, A, C. So now to do this slow. Now we just take that backwards. To do this in groupings of 4. And then let me try that again. So on and so forth. And then you can just take this type of stuff through, you know, the backing tracks and all that stuff, and just take an A drone and go. And then a lot of things is when you improv, it doesn't so much come from your shred fingers, even though that's cool, flashy, but all that stuff comes from is your rhythm hand. So coming up with different rhythms. So for example, if I just take these 2 strings here, so the A string, or the B string and the G string, so 8, 5, 7, 5, and I could just do something like so that was a little bit rhythmic variety. So I can take this A drone, add some little bendies in there. Little jigglies in there. And then if you're a little advanced, add some like pinchies. And then you could take like just a, you know, just an A and go. You know, and do all that stuff, which helps. So then another thing too is like when you start playing certain chords, you know, for Lagrange, for example, like that whole line comes out of this scale. Or else you got your you know, right? So ain't no sunshine, right? And then that whole all that comes out of is just the 5/7 on the D string, and that comes out of directly out of your A minor. So then now, okay, cool. That's just one key out of 12. So, and then another way to look at that is you want to play your lowest position possible out of the 5 positions, right? So like, let's say if I was to do, you know, let's say C minor pentatonic, right? Okay, so we find our C, right? And the way I kind of like to look at it is always start, well, you know, you can always start where your rock position would be. So then if you think your A minor shape or a pinky is here at the 8th fret, now just slide your pointer finger and play the rock position. Okay, right? So that's cool, right? So, but now you want to play the lowest position possible. So now you got to look backwards and what positions can I play before I run out of fretboard. So here, so there's that position. So that's the 4th position. Okay, what other position can I do? So, because I got these notes here. So now we can go to this position. And then the one prior to that, I can't play just because there's not enough frets. The only place I can play that would be here. Oh wait, I totally messed it up. This position here, I mean, would be here, sorry. And then if you go here, 15th fret, we're at this position. So there's that. And then let's say if you want to do G minor pentatonic, right? Okay, well, don't have extra frets. So our lowest position possible would be Rockland. And then now you just keep going through the sequence. Find your octaves. So that position right here, I would have been able to play up here if I had enough fretboard, but I don't. So that's my play that position.